CNN is desperately trying to rescue their brand after a bunch of ignorant crap about Russia, and getting on everyone's nerves, like Jim Acosta, and basically proving that Trump is right and they are the enemy of the people. So they send their coolest guy, Bill Weiss. He's a guy who was screaming at Fox a while ago about climate change and calling them ignorant fucksticks because they don't get that weather and climate are different. So, very left-wing dude. But he's one of their cooler guys. So they go, get on a leather jacket and some leather stuff and go to Sturgis and tell those people that we're cool. So he goes, okay, and he makes a segment that, of course, shows you everything bad about CNN. But I think it's very interesting how fast it gets politically correct. So play the beginning of it.
They rumble in from all points on the compass, and for 1 week each summer, this little town of 7,000 explodes to 500,000.
News. That's valuable information. It's very interesting information. It establishes a who, what, when, where, why at the beginning. Good journalism, CNN. I'm with you so far. Maybe you're back. What's next?
But this is one city that looks nothing like the rest of America. You can go hours without seeing a person of color. In Sturgis, a minority is a white guy on a foreign bike. Stop.
Why? Okay, America is 14% black. So obviously there's going to be areas that are predominantly white, especially when you're in South Dakota. Can you imagine him going to Freak Week or whatever it's called, where all the black college kids hang out, or going to some Harlem jazz thing or any other predominantly black thing and going, this sure don't look like the rest of America to me. In fact, if you said that, you'd be racist. That's the way it works with the left. An all-white area. I think there was just an article in CNN saying that certain areas are 94% white, and what can we do to change that? They would never say that about Chinatown. Imagine you were in Chinatown with all the Chinese signs and people speaking Chinese, and you went, this sure don't look like America to me. And then he says, you can go hours without seeing a person of color. I think that's coming up. I don't believe you, first of all. Black people love motorcycles, and there's plenty of black bikers, even for Trump. So I don't believe you that you can go hours and hours without seeing a person of color in a group of 500,000. Bull roar, Bill.
There's a black guy right there.
There's a black guy where?
Right there.
Oh, yeah. Are you sure that's not just shade?
No, I looked at it. Yeah, that's a black person.
Well, we didn't go hours. We went seconds. And what a thing, though. But what a thing to think when you're in South Dakota. There's no black people here. That's the second point that comes out of his mouth after population. In fact, it's why he told you the population, so he could bitch about diversity.
There are no debates over gun control here or the ethics of the Me Too movement. And there is no doubt who is the leader of this pack. But you're a fan of the president?
Of course, they have to use the Confederate flag one. And he also is, CNN is so ignorant of the rest of America. They see the Confederate flag and they think it means slavery. In upstate New York, they wear Confederate flags, farmers and stuff. And you know what it means? It means I hate Manhattan. It means I love the country, I love my state, but I got nothing to do with them city folks down south. That's what the Confederate flag means there. Natives will wear Confederate flags, and it means I'm a rebel and I still believe in the Indian spirit of rebellion. But to him, it's slavery, and I haven't seen a black person for hours and hours and hours. These people are obviously pretty darn racist.
Think he's doing a good job?
He's doing a lot better than what Obama did.
This ghostwriter reveals himself as John Sands, a postal worker who rides up from Kentucky each year and, like so many I talk to, sees proof of Trump's brilliance in the booming economy.
What they'll tell you is they say, it's the Trump bump, the economy is so good, people are feeling so good.
Rod Woodruff is the owner of the sprawling Buffalo Chip.
Isn't it weird how when you hear interesting news on CNN that involves important data, it feels weird? You go, wait a minute. You're telling me facts and you're talking about a booming economy. What's the twist? When is this all going to go to shit?
Disneyland for bikers and says his campers have an average income of $95,000 a year.
News.
70-some% are homeowners in the United States.
Data.
Okay.
Lots of people own
Wait, pause.
multiple.
What the hell is on his body? Is that like an S&M camera case from Germany? What is going on with that? It wraps around his shoulders and then it hangs down to his ass? I've never seen anything like that before. It's like some sort of Indiana Jones camera bag that he got on eBay. What a dork.
Motorcycles.
We have a tattoo parlor up here. We've got food, pizza, anything you want at the free access crossroads.
Very good. You have your own jail?
No, we don't need one.
You don't need one, huh? Violence and arrest.
Whoops. So he says, I haven't seen a black person for hours and hours. Where's their jail? Oh, you don't need a jail. They keep walking into their own unfortunate references.
Us are incredibly rare for a crowd of this size. One reason is that most folks share the same values, and those that don't,
Just
keep
pause.
it to themselves.
This is, by the way, they always say socialism works and socialism was great in Northern Europe. Socialists in Northern Europe and Scandinavia are thriving for a number of reasons, but one of them is they're using their grandparents' money from back when they were free market. They also don't have that much diversity, and they tend to be a cohesive unit, and that sponsors less crime, less strife, less welfare. Same with Japan. You look at Japan, they'll go to a water park and they'll all be shoulder to shoulder because they are as one. So this guy is actually doing an anti-diversity commercial with his S&M. What is that? What is that? Bouncing off his ass as he walks around? God, I hate this guy. This is their cool rock and roll dude. Go ahead.
What I see here in motorcycling is a microcosm for the whole country. And I get the feeling
By the way, if you have slightly baggy white shorts on, don't also wear a white t-shirt. You will look like a grub or some sort of medic from the future. That's not a good look, dude.
times that people that don't believe in what's going on is right have become very quiet.
I think there's a lot of hypocrisy going on in the country now because I just feel like everybody wants freedom and they want rights, but God forbid somebody disagree with you because then you'll get your head bitten off.
Pause.
Couple months.
Excellent point, lady. CNN, why don't you talk about that? Hey, CNN, how about the time that someone made a meme and you tracked them down to their home and they've done that a few times. I identify a meme or they went to someone's home who was on a Facebook page that was a Russian-made page. So they go to her house to tell her that the page is fake. It was made by Russians. Russia. You got to watch CNN. Rosie O'Donnell was just going on and on about Russia. It's all they talk about on that network. Anyway, they went to that woman's house where there was a kid, the meme kid who did a meme, and they said, we have discovered his identity and we will hold off for now on doxing him to the world. Like, you guys bite people's heads off when they don't agree with you. You are vicious. You're an enemy of the people. This is not helping, Bill. Go ahead.
In fact, the president aimed his Twitter and trade war guns at Harley Davidson. Even though they got a huge tax break, the company shut down a factory in Kansas City, laid off hundreds of workers, and said because of the tariffs, they'd have to start production in a new country overseas. Which begs the question, is this the ultimate loyalty test for his base? Do these folks pledge allegiance to the president?
So what is he doing there? He was sent there to ingratiate CNN with people who hate them. And he won't shut up about race. And, of course, Russia's coming up, by the way. And he thinks, how can I drive a wedge? Oh, bike people like Harley Davidson. Trump just had a fight with Harley Davidson. There's something I could focus on, the split between Harley and Trump. Hey, dumbass. Hey, fuckstick. People love Harley Davidson because it's American-made. In fact, I would argue most Harley fans know deep down that it's not as good of a bike as, say, a Suzuki or a Yamaha or even many Triumphs. But they appreciate the Americanism in the brand, so they prefer Harleys. And I have a Triumph, and when you're on a motorcycle, people wave to you and you pass them. They do a little zoopy-doop. little, hey, man. You can't go like that, obviously, but you just sort of acknowledge the other person. A lot of Harley guys won't do that to a Japanese bike, and that's got nothing to do with the quality of the engine. It has to do with the fact that it's American-made. Now, if they go overseas, they've lost their whole brand, and you will instantly lose that loyalty. Nothing to do with Trump. It's like an American flag store that you find out was made in China. You don't want to frequent that American flag store, and it's not Trump's fault. Go ahead.
Or Harley Davidson?
You know, I'm going to have to, go with what's going to make America better, and if Harley wants to choose to go somewhere else, then I'll choose to buy different bikes.
I personally love the man. I think he's doing a wonderful job.
Despite the president's disdain for my profession, they could not be nicer. Do I strike you as an enemy of the people?
Not whatsoever.
He doesn't hate your profession. He hates you. He hates CNN. He likes good journalists, and he calls on them. In fact, he's expanded the White House press briefing to include all different types of media when it was just a select few before. He hates CNN, the mainstream media, the alt-left media, who won't shut up about race and Russia and how you should hate Trump. He hates Harleys, and you like your Harley. What? Go ahead.
Not at all. We're sure glad to have you here.
But it's obvious that no amount of earnest reporting will change their minds. Because if you look at Russia and the Mueller investigation, and there's a lot of red flags and dark clouds.
Well, that's usually pretty a lot of politicians, but one they're picking on because he's out of the outside. I mean, if you look at the Clintons, how come they can do things and no one else can?
I mean, I'm old enough to remember when the base loved Harley Davidson and hated Russia, and it seems like it's flipped a little.
That's why I chose this video for that line. I'm old enough to remember, what are you, 45? I'm old enough to remember when bikers liked Harley Davidson and hated Russia. So, and then he goes, he just said, we're here to do objective reporting, and no amount of objective reporting can change that. You've heard all the bias laced throughout this piece. And then he ends it with, you guys like Russia and you hate Harley Davidson. If you like Trump, you like Russia. If you don't have a conspiracy theory that Russia got Trump the presidency, then you love Vladimir Putin, a dictator. That's their insane logic.
A little bit.
I don't think there's any reason for him to call him out or make him, we should try to be friendly with everyone. And if they don't want to be friends, then it's a whole nother story.
Even Vladimir Putin, even a dictator, a murderer?
Well, he met with Kim Jong-un as well.
Tell her fake news. We all know it.
Ask our Lord, touch me.
Ask our Lord and Savior.
By the way, can I just say something? Can you pause it here? This guy's smiling and laughing. This is what they did with Jim Acosta. They said his life was in danger. He was going to be killed. Everyone was laughing their heads off, screaming CNN is fake news. Trump, the thing I've always loved the most about Trump, and it's why I wanted him to be president, his fans. His fans are the best. And this guy couldn't be safer in Sturgis. Now, do you want to go take a Fox News microphone to an Antifa rally, to a Black Lives Matter gathering? Do you want to take a Fox News mic to a rap show that's getting out? Let me see how well you do. So he's portraying these people as dangerous and divisive and ignorant, and they need a jail. And what do? They jokingly say, you guys suck.
Back downtown, our presence sparks a debate between some Fox News fans from Texas and Bonnie from Nebraska.
They don't know what they're talking
Fox News fans.
Come on. Yeah, we do. You're an American too. Get on the other side.
That's not true. I watch both.
See?
I go either way.
Which proves we now live in a media age where people can choose their own facts.
I have a friend who's very much Fox.
You may not choose your own facts. That's not how facts work. Facts don't care about your feelings. Facts are facts. You can choose to ignore them, But you can't choose your own facts. What the hell is this guy talking about? And of course, the only person that'll give him the time of day is a blabbermouth mom who's got empty nest syndrome since her kids left and is boring him to tears. And he so didn't want this, by the way. He didn't want the anyone's dog for a bone old lady who won't shut up. He wanted the cool guys to go, you know what? Maybe you're right. Russia sucks. And I hate Trump. I like Harleys, man. We are a wake-up call. And I got to get more black friends. Thanks for helping out. Mission failed, Bill.
And I go, yeah. I agree with you. No problem. Everybody has their own opinion. It's like...
That's true.
It's like everybody has one.
Just as long as they don't start shooting at each other, right?
Right.
But then...
Catch that? More bias? She says opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one. And then he does this fake laugh. And he goes, as long as you don't start shooting each other, right? Like, this is the CNN brain. It's Russia. It's where are the black people? It's there's guns. Someone might be shot. It's do you have a jail in case someone shoots someone? Well, come back down to Earth, you guys. You're in satellites floating around the planet. That's not what's going on here.
The heckling is interrupted by a hero falling from the sky. Sergeant Dana Bowman, an Army Golden Knight who lost both legs in a midair collision. He lands with Old Glory, and just for a moment, it feels like we are all in this together.
What? You guys hate American flags. You hate the military. You don't support, and the military hates you. So you can't just show a war vet who lost both his legs and say, at the end of the day, CNN and Fox can be friends. No, dude. The military cannot be friends with CNN. You guys choose your facts, and that's not how facts work. This was a complete flop, Bill. You went in there to show that CNN is a friend of the people, and you showed us exactly why we hate you.